Good morning and welcome. I invite you to take a moment to breathe. As you hear our opening words by the Reverend Molly Hausch Gordon, we gathered together this morning tenderly, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass, hopefully like gathered raindrops in a cloud, hopefully like gathered raindrops in a cloud, gleefully like water rushing in a stream to the sea, deeply like groundwater pulled up from a well. We gather from every direction for one another, for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, another year of learning to love this world. We gather like the water that joins us across all creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across the entire world. Please find our teal hymnals today, Singing the Journey, for our opening hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home. As our song leaders come forward to the chancel, I invite you to rise and body your spirit and join us in singing all three verses. The lyrics will also be shown on our screen. I am so pleased to welcome back Timothy Edwards as our guest musician today. He's such an accomplished violinist and has a sanctuary full of fans here at our church who can attest to that. You can read about his academic and musical accomplishments in your order of service. We are so happy to have him here today, accompanied by our own Gary Smart. Tim's first selection is very fitting for today's water sharing service, written by Lindsay Sterling. It's Master of the Tides. Timothy, we're ready to set sail with you this morning. Thank you, Timothy and Gary. That was awesome. I'd like to officially welcome everyone to Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Chris Kynes. I am one of several of your worship leaders today as we celebrate together our annual Ingathering and Water Sharing service. BBUUC is a church for all. No matter how you identify yourself or what path you follow, you are welcome here. We believe that everyone has a right to question, to wonder, and to find. Our faith calls us to honor interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, all through a fabric of love. As we are all navigating through this wondrous journey called life, I'm grateful that you have chosen to be here with us today. I'd like to acknowledge any guests or newcomers that have come out to join us on this Labor Day weekend, the first Sunday of September. If you are a new visitor, we warmly welcome you to our modest church. If you'd like to learn more about us or Unitarian Universalism, we invite you to check out the literature at the front desk at the welcome table near the entryway. We also have regularly scheduled Learn About UU and Learn About BBUUC classes. And if you have questions or needs, don't hesitate to ask any of our members. They will assist you or direct you to those who are best suited to answer your questions. You have come to a very special service this Sunday. Our annual Ingathering and Water Sharing service is a family event that includes our children and youth and they're going to stay with us in the sanctuary instead of attending their regular religious education classes during the service. The nursery, however, is open for babies and toddlers. I Spy activity sheets are available for our younger congregants and contain elements they may see or hear during the service. We invite you to join us after the service for fellowship at the back of the sanctuary, and today, instead of our usual assortment of cookies and snacks, our Beacon Youth members are hosting an ice cream social fundraiser. They will be scooping and serving your custom ice cream creations at the pass-through window. So we hope you'll stop by for a cool treat. Our youth ask that children ages 10 and under will be accompanied by a parent when they come to the window to make their request. The regular coffee, tea, and other beverages will be still served at the other window.
Good morning. I'm Claudia Marshall, and it's good to be here with you as we gather in love. Since Unitarian Universalists don't have a creed or a dogma, what holds us together as a community is covenant, the promises that we make to one another about who we will be as a faith community and how we will be in relationship with one another as we practice our values. The covenant we created together in our congregation is printed in your order of service, and I invite you to join me in speaking the words in unison. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, practice gracious accountability with care, love, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. I invite Debbie Jones to come forward and light our chalice as a symbol of our faith as I share these words by Paul Eisel. On this Sunday before Labor Day, we light this flame to honor all work, not only the work we do for pay with our hands, our backs, and our minds. That is important, yes, but also the work we do for love. The work we do to help others stay alive and belong instead of being outcast. The work we do to ensure people are paid fairly work, reasonable hours, and have quality time in their lives. The work we do caring for the young, old, and the infirm. The work we do to mentor, educate, to advocate, and to enrich the community, the country, and the world. We honor all the labor that supports our world and all the work we do to make this world a better place. Thank you, Debbie. I now invite you to rise in body and/or spirit and join me in singing our call to worship.
Good morning. My name is Donna Zimmerman, and I'm a chaplain on the pastoral care team, and I am also on the worship team. Please hear these beautiful words of Ingathering Prayer written by Eric Cherry. Guided by love, secured by hope, and made courageous by faith, we gather together at a moment of beginning, both learning and teaching, welcoming the injured and the healing, ever justice seeking, we bless this church with our love. With pilgrims and seekers, growing children and cherished seniors, guided by pillars and by leaders, we bless this church with our hope. Praying and resolving, trusting and involving, some settled, some evolving, we bless this church with our faith. Let us receive our ingathering as a gift. May it inspire renewed commitment to our great covenant of love, hope, and faith. May our eyes be open to opportunities for broad ministry within, throughout, and beyond. And may the blessings we come to know through that vision be a blessing to this world. Amen.
It's our story for all ages. Today we're going to read a story called The Little Cracked Pot. I can relate, seriously. These words are powerful, so listen well. Long ago, in a small village nestled among mist-covered mountains and bright green rice paddies, there lived a young girl. Mei Li was her name, and she spent most of her days playing with her doggie, Fufu. Every morning, before she was allowed to play, she had to do her chores. Early each morning, Mei Li took the mountain path and made the long trip down to the stream. With her, she carried 2 water pots on either end of a pole. One pot was perfect. He was always full to the top with water, and when he arrived back at the village, the other little pot had a crack. He always leaked water all the way down the mountain path. By the time Mei Li arrived back home, the little cracked pot was barely half full. This routine continued on day after day. Mei Li would make the long journey home and end up with only 1.5 pots of water. Now the shiny and perfect pot was very proud of his accomplishments, but the poor little cracked pot felt ashamed. He was sad that he could only do half the job the other pot could do. The little cracked pot was worried that he was a failure. He spoke to Mei Li by the stream one morning as they were getting ready for another long day's journey. He told Mei Li he was embarrassed that he could never do the job right. He asked Mei Li why she kept him when he was such an imperfect pot. Mei Li looked down at her special little friend. With a wink and a glowing smile, she asked him, "Did you ever notice that the flowers grow on your side of the path? I have always known that you had a crack, so I plant flowers on your side of the path. Every day while we walk back from the stream, you water them for me." Mei Li explained that for many years, she had been picking these beautiful flowers to decorate her table and to give to her friends and family. Without you being just the way you are, we would not have such beautiful flowers to fill all our homes. The little cracked pot was thrilled. He understood that no 2 pots are ever the same or ought to be. He realized that each of us is unique with the cracks and flaws we have making our lives interesting. The end.
This morning, we would like to share a special video from our president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt.
Beloveds, it is my joy to bring you greetings, celebration, and a welcome as we lean into a new congregational year. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a time, what a moment for us to be together. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are in a time of great transition, a time of great need in the world, that this can put immense pressures on us, on our leaders, on our members, on our communities, on our constituencies. And we know that the work that lies before us is a long journey work, not a short run ahead. And how we are with one another, how we support each other, will have everything to do with how we meet the moment in this coming year. I want to reassure you that your UUA is excited to serve as your colleagues, your collaborators, as those who can help resource us all in these times. We're here to help equip Unitarian Universalism to meet this moment together. This year, your UUA organizing strategy team has launched UU the Vote 2024 to continue to build our collective power in community between and beyond the election cycles of this country. In the coming months, our goals are to get an even larger number of UUs involved and to live ever more fully into answering this question: what does love require of us in this political season and beyond? Now, we know also that life in our congregations can feel like it is in a constant state of action and reaction, even as so many of us are leaning into new and creative ways to live this freely chosen life in community. All of us here at your UUA hold these struggles and these opportunities together with you. And I hope that we can all turn to one another in the coming months as we live out our mission, grounded in Unitarian Universalism's insistence that no one is disposable, that all communities are worthy of safety and thriving, and that we will all get free together. My first year as your UUA president was a time of deep listening, of relationship building, of traveling to be with so many of you across the nation and beyond, to help work to facilitate building structures of communal care within our association and beyond. We've laid groundwork together for new initiatives like the climate justice revival that is coming in just weeks at the end of September, and working to meet the moment together in these times. We've carried forward ongoing processes like UU the Vote, like responding to the Widening the Circle of Concern report from our Commission on Institutional Change, all of which can bring us to deeper levels of commitment to mutual thriving. This and so much more is in the work between and among us. There is so much good that is happening at your UUA, and we look forward to continuing to share all of that with you in the coming year. I also want to celebrate that we just held a historic General Assembly, all virtual, this past year in 2024. After a democratic process involving thousands of Unitarian Universalists discussing our faith's values and core theology, delegates at our 2024 GA voted decisively to approve a new statement that articulates those historically grounded promises and commitments in accessible and compelling invitational ways. We are an ever-evolving tradition, and we honor the various expressions of our shared values and principles that can serve to unite our congregations and communities as we celebrate the work of those who brought us this far toward a renewed expression of our lasting legacy in the world. And I know there are many of us who still need to live into these renewed, these expressed values that are feeling some loss over language, even in our bylaws. I want to say that we're living into these changes together, that we will give them life in community, as we have done many times before. I look forward to this continued journey together. One of the most significant actions we took at GA this past year was to approve with overwhelming votes of support our business resolution embracing transgender, non-binary, and intersex and gender diverse people is a fundamental expression of UU religious values. This was more than a bureaucratic affirmation of our deepest commitments, because business resolutions, once we pass them, require your UUA to implement them as core to the association's work. This vote, your vote as Unitarian Universalists, solidifies and strengthens our ministry to and with transgender, non-binary, and intersex members of our communities. It strengthens all of us in our commitments to our liberal and liberating faith. At this time of ingathering and beginning again, this time of renewal, our call is not to do more things. It is instead to be together, to make a commitment to our communities. The simple act of joining together in community is an expression of faithfulness in such divided times. It lies at the heart of how we practice our Unitarian Universalism. Our lives together in our congregations and our communities serve to embody this faith. We all are how Unitarian Universalism shows up in the world. May we continue to come together now and in the coming months, find new ways to express our care for one another, even and especially in the presence of real differences. This is how we meet the moment, by practicing our faith together. Welcome, beloveds, to the promise of a new congregational year. I look forward to holding the power and the promise of our tradition with you.
We take an offering each Sunday to give our material resources with generosity and gratitude. There are many ways to give by using the QR code in your order of service or the link on our website, but no matter how you choose to give today, I invite you to take the plate when it comes to you and pass it along to your neighbor as part of this ritual this morning. The act of giving is a symbolic reminder that giving is just as important as receiving, that sharing what we have is how we live out our value of generosity. I now invite Jim Wood and Ted Clisby to come forward and accept the offering, after which I will invite you all to stand in body or spirit and we'll sing the offertory hymn, number 123, Spirit of Life.
As drops of rain that find each other and build to become a track, a rivulet, a stream, a river, a sea, so are we drawn together. So are we fortunate to find each other. So are we bound together on this shared passage toward an unknown ocean and eternity. Many Unitarian Universalist congregations have an ingathering tradition after summer at the start of a new school year around Labor Day, familiar to some and new to others. Our annual water sharing service, or sometimes called water communion, is a way for us to honor our community coming together in a new church year. Communion is a word that means sharing. The water sharing service is a relatively new ritual as rituals go. Lucille Shuck Longview and Carolyn McDade, author of our beloved hymn, Spirit of Life, came up with the idea in 1980 for a Women and Religion conference as a special way of honoring what each person brought to the gathering. Women at the conference were so moved by the way the ritual expressed how the powers of each person magnified when they all come together, that they brought the idea back to their home congregations, and the practice just spread from there. This morning, we invited you to bring a sample of water symbolizing the places and ways your spiritual well springs forth. Some of us brought water from special places we have visited. Others brought water from our kitchen faucet or garden hose. Some of us had no idea we were to bring water to church, and a few of us even forgot. No worries. We have small cups of water available for you to use symbolically. The place where the water comes from doesn't really matter. What matters is that it represents you. It represents all of the ways you are nourished in body and in spirit. In our communal bowl, there are already some of the waters collected during these ceremonies from the past 34 years. At the completion of today's service, with your contributions now as part of our collective waters, we will place a portion of them in the container where we keep waters from years of these annual gatherings. It will be sterilized and used as sacred water in child dedications and other sacred ceremonies. This ceremony is about sharing ourselves, sharing love. This communion, this sharing, uses water to symbolize our coming together to be united in this Unitarian Universalist community of faith. One congregation in many places. On this fine morning, we ask each of you to think about what gift you will share from your heart and your spirit for the coming year. Find a single word or short phrase to name one gift you bring to our community this year. We will ask you to come forward and pour your water into our common bowl in just a moment. Jennifer will have the microphone next to the bowl so that you can name that one gift you bring. So take a moment as we begin to gather and think, what gift will I share from my heart and my spirit for the coming year?
in memory of a member of this congregation passed away 2.5 years ago, my wife, Dixie Clisby.
My water is a representative of what good it feels to be back home after a couple of weeks of traveling, and that water really is home to me.
Humor.
I share joy and humor. Words. Resilience and adaptability.
Mine is connection between past and future.
Sure. Music.
Smiles.
Love. Empathy.
Courage.
Music and friendship.
Joy and peace.
I'm with Khaleesi. Smiles.
Patience.
Support.
Trust in the divine. Community.
Compassion. Hope. Caring.
Family, this generation, the past, and the next.
I'll also say empathy.
Action.
Kindness.
Hope. listening. Empathy.
Singing, dancing, and maybe some chess playing.
Peace and loving kindness.
Compassion.
Love and respect. Love. My mom.
Perspective. Service.
Love and commitment.
Love and friendship.
Steadfast and hope.
Healing.
Sound booth, you good? They're good. And I'm going to offer healing and leadership. Our water has been mingled. Let us now join our voices in blessing this water in our bowl of community. Your response in this blessing is printed in your order of service and is, "We bless these waters with our love." Would you please say that with me? We bless these waters with our love. Once more, we bless these waters with our love. I invite you in body or spirit to rise. And as you're comfortable in doing so, please reach a hand, palm up towards our bowl. I didn't want to hit the microphone, towards our bowl of community, and imagine all of our love and good intentions flowing from us into the water before us. You can use both hands if you want. I have a busy hand right here. So, Spirit of life, may this water remind us that even as our bodies can thirst, our souls too can experience cries of frustration, remember oceans of separation, feel the sweat of effort, and know the sense of uplift that tears of happiness can bring. Together let us say, we bless these waters with our love. We know that few of our dreams could come true without the help of those around us. And even the dreams we fulfill alone beg for the company of others to make them meaningful. Together let us say, we bless these waters with our love. Let us bless this water with our individual hearts and our shared commitment so that we understand this truth. Just as water is the essence of our very life, it is our relationships to one another, to the earth, and to the great mystery of being that makes life worth living. One last time together, let us say, we bless these waters with our love. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. You may be seated. Our closing hymn this morning is number 100. I've got Peace Like a River. It's got 6 verses. I think we're going to sing all 6 this morning. It's an excellent song. We're not worried about the kids running late because the kids are waiting for us to come buy ice cream. It's in the gray hymnal. Go back to the one you're familiar with. This one, number 100. The lyrics will also be shown on the screen. Please rise in body or spirit for 6 verses of I've Got Peace Like a River. Please, at the completion of the hymn, remain standing for the benediction and the extinguishing of the chalice. And my song leaders already know what they're doing. I don't have to say anything. Debbie, will you please come over and extinguish the chalice for us? Debbie. She's like, I'm so busy with the song. Please hear these words by Kayla Rice. It starts with a drop and then a trickle, a burble, a rush of water bubbling towards its destination, and finally the wide, endless sea. All rivers run to the sea. Today you brought water, poured it into a common bowl. Though our experiences have differed, these waters mingle, signifying our common humanity. Today you came and shared in this sacred community. May you depart this sacred space, hearts filled with hope for new beginnings, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community where rivers of tears may be shed, where dry souls may be watered, where your joy bubbles, where your life cup overflows, where deep in your spirit you have found a place to call home. All rivers run to the sea. Shalom, salam, ashe, namaste, amen. Blessed be, and let's go eat ice cream.